Now, many people in playing this version of Dungeons and Dragons have stated that it's unplayable without a map and without figures or miniatures to know exactly where you are and what you're doing. It's interesting that this solo adventure doesn't use a map right now. It's based mostly on your decision and maybe just the concept or the idea behind moving in and attacking. So that's a nice way to introduce you to the game. It gets you to use your imagination. The little miniature tokens and the maps, it's coming, and that really does help visualize everything. But the game, it's debated whether it's even possible to play without a map and miniatures, but I'm one of those that thinks that might be possible. And it might actually even be fun to do it that way, but I'm sort of an old school gamer at heart. But I do enjoy this edition, and anyway, let's continue on with the adventure. Let's see, it said we needed to go to number 10. Okay. Monster attacks work pretty much the same way as your attacks do. The monster rolls a d20 and adds its attack modifier. It compares the results to one of your defenses, in this case, your armor class. When you attack the goblin, you are also comparing the result against its armor class, which was 15. As a fighter, you wear heavy armor called scale armor. Scale armor gives you an armor class of 17. Roll the d20 and add the goblin's attack modifier of +5. If it's a 17 or better, it hits you. Alright, looks like we're supposed to write down in the armor class section a 17. So let's do that. We've got our armor class here, 17. Alright, well let's hope this little monster misses. He needs to roll a 17 or higher, gets +5 on his attack roll. An 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. Alright, did the goblin miss? Yes. Go to number 12. Okay, here we are at number 12. It's your turn again. Remember that you can use a standard action, a move action, and a minor action on your turn. Last turn, you used a minor action to draw your weapon. This time, you can use it to enter a stance. Stances are special abilities that fighters have, reflecting a combination of careful positioning, mental focus, and athletic skill. As a first-level fighter, you know 2 stances, Poised Assault and Battle Fury. It's a minor action to enter a stance or change your stance. Note these 2 stances on your character sheet. Alright, character sheet. Looks like they're putting this under the powers and feats. So let's copy that. Powers and feats is right there. We've got Poised, Assault, and Battle Fury. Seems like my handwriting and the handwriting in this book are not so different. Alright, what does it say about these? Poised Assault gives you +1 power bonus to your attack rolls. Battle Fury gives you +2 power bonus on your damage rolls. Since you're fighting minions and your damage rolls don't matter, Poised Assault is a great choice. Go ahead and note the attack bonus because of your stance. Go ahead and note the attack bonus because of your stance. You don't really need to use your move action on this turn. You could take a careful step into a better position, and that's called shifting. When you're using a battle map like the ones On the poster included with this box, you can shift one square as a move action. You can also move a number of squares equal to your speed, which is 5, but this movement is less cautious than shifting. But since the goblin is right next to you, there's no need to move at all. Instead, you can use your standard attack. Roll a d20 again and add your attack modifier. Don't forget the bonus from your stance. The goblin's AC is 15. Shifting. It didn't really explain much more about that, but when you have a couple of let's say you have your hero and the enemies there, if you just start moving around like you could in the Castle Ravenloft and Wrath of a Chardalon game, you're basically dropping your guard and running by. They get the chance to take a free attack on you because you're not being cautious. So a shift is a move that shifts you one space away. It's like a one step away, and it's a cautious step, and you've got your guard up, so it protects you from being vulnerable to those what is it called in this version? Opportunity attack? Or is it called something else? I can't remember. But yeah, it's basically a free attack. So let's go ahead and go with our next attack here. The goblin's armor class is 15. Our attack bonus is 7, but we're going to use poised assault to make that plus 8. So here we go, adding 8 to the die roll. A 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think we missed by 1. We're not doing so well. Did you miss the goblin? Go to 9. If the goblin hits you again, remember to subtract the damage from your current hit points. Go to number 9. Okay, back to number 9. The goblin nimbly dodges your blow and steps around to your side, swinging its own crude sword at you. It attacks. Go to number 10. Alright, so it gets its turn now. It's going to attack me with plus 5. Oh, it hit me. It rolled an 18, and it gets plus 5, so I was hit. Did the goblin hit? Yes, it did. Go to 11. It says, the goblin's sword bites into you, but it's just a minor wound. Pain shoots up your leg from the attack, but you can fight on. The goblin's attack deals 4 damage to you. Minion monsters don't roll for damage like you do, but other monsters do. Your character can take a lot more damage than that before falling unconscious. Your hit points measure how much damage you can take. The goblin's damage is subtracted from your hit points, but you'll get them back soon enough. Because you're a fighter, you start with hit points equal to your Constitution score plus 15, for a total of 29. Make sure you write down your full normal total of 29 hit points. Then, in the space for current hit points, write down 25, since the goblin hit you for 4 damage. You should note your bloodied value, which is 1/2 of your full normal total hit points, or 14, rounding down. When your hit points are reduced to 14, you're bloodied, and that's a sign that you might be in trouble. Alright, well, let's look on our character sheet and fill in some of this information. It said that our total hit points, they were equal to 29, and our bloodied value was 14. Current hit points. Here's a little section we can scribble around in. We got hit for 4 hit points, so that drops us down to 25. current hit points. Let's just put 25 there, nice and small. Alright, it's implied here what our Constitution score may be, because it said add your Constitution score plus 15 is going to total 29. So we'll come back to that to see if it tells us very clearly what our Constitution score is, but we can pretty much figure it out at this point. Alright, it's your turn to act again. Go to number 12. If the goblin hits you enough times before you manage to defeat it, it could knock you unconscious. If your current hit points fall to 0 or lower, go to 44. Alright, we're supposed to go to 12. Here we are back at 12, still using our poised assault. Let's give this another shot. Plus 8 to our attack. We are attacking the armor class of 15. 12 plus 8, that's going to be a 20, so that is a hit. What happens? Did you hit the goblin? Let's go to 13. The goblin falls beneath your deadly attack. Suddenly the other goblins realize that capturing this wagon isn't going to be as easy as they thought. The goblins run away, scattering in all directions. Next we'll go to 45. So there I am, fighting the goblins in hand-to-hand combat. Took a nice wound on the arm, but I managed to pretty much cleave one of those little guys in two during the battle. So you had a chance to see some of the basics of combat. You'll notice in comparison to the board games I've been playing that some of the hit points are much higher. I think in the board game you don't get much more than 8, 10, or 12 hit points, and you saw that I had, what was it, 29? Yes. So this game has a bit more action to it in that way. There's more back and forth. Anyway, that was a good introduction here to the basics of combat. Once again, for those of you familiar with the board games, you can see the similarities. Basically rolling the d20 and adding your attack bonus to it. And the interesting thing is that your damage is going to vary. Your damage isn't a set amount. But since these guys were minions with 1 hit point, I just had to hit them once. So in that way, they are a lot like the board game. You just needed to hit them one time and they were out. But in the future, I'll probably be fighting some other monsters that have quite a few more hit points. And we're not talking about 2, we're talking about, you know, as many hit points, if not more hit points than I have. So, plenty of challenging things ahead. But I think I'm going to stop the video here tonight, and I will pick it up with some more action for you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed it. Please stay tuned for some more Red Box action coming soon.